hopefully, maybe, this is like the weirdest thing in the world. Hopefully we're live. Hopefully you can hear us. Can anyone hear us in cyberspace that might hear this and say, hey, Black Hills is streaming, and we don't know why they're streaming on a Saturday, but they are streaming. So, maybe we know what's going on here. But either way, I'm going to go through here and set my Do Not Disturb, because we are at Defcon. We are at Defcon in the Black Hills Information Security booth, and I'm pulling up the chat here on my screen, and just like a true HackerCon, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. So hopefully you are all seeing us live on screen here. I've got with me, this is Ian Meyer with Black Hills Information Security. We're at DEFCON 31 in our booth in the exhibitor hall, and I'm going to flip it over here because I want to introduce Jose and Sean here from they've got the coolest badge. I'm actually stammering because they've got the coolest badge in the history of badges. They're from, why don't you tell us? Why don't you tell us about your company and where you're from here?
So
get it up to you there.
So we're part of a startup cybersecurity company called Ironwood Cyber. Originally founded by a couple of fellows out of Lockheed Martin. And we've been part of the community here for quite some time. We just wanted to do something cool here, make some noise, let people know who we are and that we're part of the scene. And we thought, things that get us excited might get other people excited. And so we thought to make a badge last year. We brought that one with us here. It was the Tron badge. And, that had like overwhelming success. So
yeah,
we tried to kind of top that with the Mark II badge this year. So we're here to talk about how we made it.
Yeah. So we're seeing people come in on chat. I'm gonna have to try and get it up here on the screen here later for some of the other ones because they're like, wait, why are you guys broadcasting? Why? Because it's DEFCON, and we just said, hey, let's go ahead and jump in a stream because last year, go ahead and hold up that Tron identity badge for me. I was like, so Ironwood Cyber made this badge last year. Go ahead and hold it up towards the camera. This is their identity Tron badge. And one of the reasons we wanted to have them on a stream and pull them in is people were going absolutely nuts for this badge. And you don't sell it, right? No, get your mic up there.
Yep, nope. The company covered the costs. We're doing this as a way to kind of just have fun with the community, add something to people's DEFCONs, and try to have a good time with it. So we've been offered money countless times. People want to trade. I can't trade these because, like I said, I didn't pay for them. I'm not going to use them for personal gain. They're meant for the community, so we've made sure that every one of these things we're giving away freely to anyone who earned it. Mm-hmm. And we're creating some unique ways to earn a badge.
Yeah.
Starting with, competitions and giveaways. But
yeah. No, and that's what we love. So we're going to have a couple kind of rogue live streams here from DEFCON for the folks that can't get out. And Black Hills, as many of you know, we love to give back to the community. We like to give away things for free, and Jose and I have known each other for a long time. I've known Sean for a while now, and they have the same philosophy at Ironwood Cyber. They came from the community. They want to give back to the community instead of going, hey, let's go spend a bunch of money on marketeering materials. Let's make something really cool that people want to play with to show off our skills, to show off what's going on. So we wanted them to come over, because we get in the chat, they're asking, hey, where are you so we can come see you? We're in the exhibitor hall. We are over in the exhibitor hall that's brand new at DEFCON. And so if you're over in the vendor area, that's cool. Lots of cool vendors over there. Definitely go buy stuff. But the exhibitor hall is brand new. And it's for folks like Black Hills and others that are doing things in the community and want to talk about what they're doing. So that's what I want. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's located next to the chill out room in the main forum.
Yeah, next to the chill out room. Sean. So Sean, have you said hi yet? Have you actually taken the mic? Say hi, Sean. Say hi. Yeah. Hello, Sean.
Hello.
What do you do at Ironwood Cyber?
I help. I'm an embedded engineer. I help, but I only do infrastructure stuff currently.
Okay.
I help write some of the software for the badge.
And then Jose drags you into crazy progress that keep you up all night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have the mic, but he was the one who did the CAD designs for every part that's on this badge. There's 27 parts on here, and Sean did the CAD designs in Fusion 360 for everything that's on here.
I'm gonna have to. I do a lot of 3D print. These little flags we made for the microphones are all 3D printed. But every time I try to go into Fusion, I use like the little kitty tools for things, and I've learned how to use them. So I'm gonna hit you up when we get back to all that. So fun fact, all of us are actually from Orlando. That's how we know each other. Sean's actually got a B-Sides Orlando shirt on, another great conference. But I want to go back to you guys not selling these. You did an amazing thing for B-Sides Orlando, where you did technically sell them, but tell us why.
So, last year we had a big impact.
Like here.
A lot of people really wanted it. A lot of people kept saying, hey, I want to buy it. And I said, well, we're not going to make profits because that's not why we did it.
Right.
But if there's a way that profit can be made that can help somebody or help some organization, like that's the thing that we are going to do. And as Ian pointed out, he's part of the B-Sides organizations. I got roped in a couple years ago, and I love the group. I love the community.
Right.
So when we made this badge, I said, I'm gonna kind of set some aside, and we gave them to B-Sides Orlando. They auctioned several of them off prior to the conference to help fund the conference itself. It's just one of the many ways they're trying to make money. We kind of jokingly called it the hacker bake sale.
The bake sale, yeah.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah. So yeah, he's being way too humble, by the way. So a lot of local community conferences are struggling, right? Because a lot of sponsors are dialing back and not spending money. So Ironwood Cyber said, we're going to go through and give these badges, and he's being super humble because you raised $1,000 for B-Sides Orlando, and that is, frankly, a huge chunk of the yearly budget. So when you're looking at these things, I want to talk about the badge, and then I want to talk about Ironwood Cyber for a little bit. So tell us about this year's badge.
Okay. So where to start?
See where I'm at here? There you go.
Good? All right. So I'm trying to think of where to start here. We really wanted to kind of do something that you've never seen before, or that the community had never really seen before. Mm-hmm. Last year we did a lot with 3D printing. When we did this, we did 3 3D printed parts and 2 PCBs. That had a pretty cool effect. We were like, how do we take that to the next level? So we're like, let's start with resin printing. And it's like, I don't think I've seen a badge anywhere that's used resin print before.
Yeah.
And when we started looking at the effects of the diffusion layer that we used last year, it was very glow-like. But then we started playing with glass, like the way that 3D printing looks when you get it to be fully clear. And what it ended like, we ended up frosting it in the end. But when the light hits the glass, you don't see the light as much in the glass, but when it hits the outer ring, it lights up the edge of the ring. So almost like it teleports to the edge of the light, or at the other edge of the plastic.
Gotcha.
And so we spent a ton of effort actually to make it look like it does, because the original model that Sean made here.
I'm going to pull one out so you guys don't have to take it off here. I've got one that you were kind enough to give me, and I appreciate it immensely because I know not only the work that you guys, while I'm interrupting you so I can pull this out of here, the amount of work that you put into this. As when we do the B-Sides calls, I often see the printers in the background buzzing and that kind of stuff. So let me get this out so I can hand it to Sean. But yeah, go continue for it. Tell us the process.
So I'm trying to think. So where were we?
You were talking about the resin, and I interrupted you because I
so
thought I'd be able to get to this quicker so that Sean can kind of keep his on.
So we started off with this part, printing it with an FDM printer, so like a Prusa or an Ender.
Right.
We looked at it. It was a little bit rough. We took it. We also resin printed it just to kind of see what that would look like. We took the best looking print that we could make.
Right.
We had it molded in silicon, and then we used 2 days slow resin to pour 300 of these. And then we had to sand them down.
300
we had Max's in here, but one of our guys, Max Prime,
right.
he custom drill press adapters to grind it to the right
really?
Diameters.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in the mobile app, because we made a mobile app because that's.
I want you to talk about that.
We kind of went a little bit crazy.
Little wild.
We had too much of the yes and philosophy when we were doing this.
So where was your PM talking about sprints and story points? Like, how many story points will that be?
We didn't have anyone bringing us back in to reality.
Oh, you mean no one that would stop you from trying to do a live stream from Defcon? Because yeah.
So I don't know how you can. I don't know how you can show that to everybody, but
sure,
that's a picture of the drill press there.
So let's. I'll just kind of bring that up there, and then when we edit this later, I'll get some of this stuff so we can do this. But I'll just kind of pull it right up to the camera here. So there we go. So that's the drill press custom they made in to go through and actually pour the resin. So I mean that's nuts. So you weren't just building badge life badges, you were making custom tools to go through and do this.
So a lot of times when people do badge life, they get into it. The first thing you need to learn is like PCB manufacturing, like how you do that. We have both Sean and I are both computer engineers. We have electrical backgrounds. Doing schematics is not necessarily hard, but it's not our forte. So we got into it. We learned it like the community does. After we got our prototype kind of laying flat, we're actually building off of last year's schematic, maintaining it, keeping it going forward, because the effort that we put in, we want to make it better and do something more. So they follow the same electrical schematic. We're using the same components. We added to it, and then obviously made the face and the way that it looks much better. But what that allowed us to do was backport.
Which one? What?
Let me finish the thought there. So that allowed us to backport this year's software, which I think the embedded device has over 30,000 lines of software in C that we also were able to
There's
backport.
30,000 lines that you were able to reuse.
Well, like most of it.
Well, no, but still, there's 30,000 lines of code just from start in the new one, plus some.
Yeah. And so now we were able to backport it to the old Tron badge, so now that both badges are running the latest software.
Oh, so you've got the one from last year. You can go to, GitHub and give it new features?
Yeah, we can drop the binary somewhere and get people to flash it themselves. We've been telling people to find us and we're flashing. But
you're find them and you're flashing.
Yeah, well, we'll flash the firmware on their device.
Phrasing, I was saying.
So one of our guys, I don't think he's here right now. His name is Addison Kimball. He's our he's one of our guys at Ironwood. He did the entire schematic for the first year, and he's been the one doing the schematics for the second and third year. So, but the three of us, when we do our changes and we do reviews, we have enough people to kind of second check our work. But Addison, just to give him lots of prep, he was doing the majority of the work for the schematic.
Wow. So, okay. So tell us a bit about what the badge does, because you've got a mobile app for it. You've got there's challenges in it, all that good stuff, right?
Do you want to give a rundown of the?
Come on, Sean. Sean likes to. You drag him into everything, and
I do because
because he's awesome. We know. I know that.
So I'll just talk about Sean because Sean doesn't talk about Sean. This guy is literally. I described to him to everyone as the wizard.
The wizard.
There is so many things that he knows at an expertise level that amazes me. When we started this, he has never done CAD before. He can now take any concept and CAD it within minutes.
That's awesome.
He just went from nothing to expert within 2 weeks. That's
awesome.
like his approach with so many things. So whenever I leap off of a cliff, I have no concerns if Sean's there with me because we have never hit the ground.
The parachute will deploy.
And as you see, we jumped, we left Lockheed. We were there with, very successful careers.
Yeah.
And we're doing a startup, which is scary, but, when you have people that you trust and lean on and you do well, that's what really kind of makes it.
Absolutely. And that's definitely the team that we have at Black Hills as well, which is why we don't invite a lot of companies to be like, hey, let's go through and talk about what you do. But when you're got a very similar philosophy, you build the trust internally, let's go do awesome things, and let's give back to the community, not only through, hey, we're going to make these badges and allow it to sponsor and help a local conference, but then also we're going to give them away. You just got to find us. So I've got your Twitter up here, and I'm going to show because let me go through and I'll share my screen. This is the kind of stuff they're doing, right? So I'm going to go through and share.
We can't see what he's doing.
Yeah, they can't see it, but this is like completely rogue. This TV's supposed to be on. It's nothing. They don't know what's going on. It's pure Defcon. All right, so let me go through and share my screen real quick, and there we go. All right, so you definitely want to go to the Ironwood Cyber Twitter. So Ironwood Cyber, the full handle's at Ironwood Cyber. Perfect. So you want to go and check this out because, they have got, this is my favorite one here, right here. So the thing you did with the tree is what I got on the screen right now.
Yep.
To find out, so tell me about it. So there's 25 badges to the winners of this competition. And everything you need is in the photo. So have people solved this yet?
Yeah, so, that was done last night. We did.
Just like a streaming booth setup, folks. Yeah.
So, the way that we're kind of giving things away is we wanted people to have the opportunity to earn it. Right. Last year we did some just random drops where we said, hey, find us. Here's a picture where we're at. people sprint so fast. Like, one person hurt themselves going up the stairs. Like, people got shoved and knocked over. Like, after we witnessed that, we were like, okay, maybe we're not doing that again.
Yeah.
Right. So random drop, you found us by luck, or you ran here from across the place. Like, that's
Right.
a little bit too dangerous. So it was much more.
Oh, you mean
chill.
leaving like a bag full of electronics somewhere in a Vegas casino might be a problem? Like, yeah, we just left him here. Find him.
Yeah,
Bomb robots start coming in. Like, all right.
So last year we did like a midnight on Friday. It was.
Okay.
And there was like, everybody loved it. So this year we did 3 of those: Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Friday night at midnight. We launched a CTF. It was like a little mini CTF. It's a 4-part Cypher challenge. It starts on Twitter. The very next step after you solve the first one, it tells you where on the property to go. And it's always near Defcon. So the first one was, where were we? I don't remember.
I think Digital Rare's calling me out here because I'm eating the microphone. There is so much noise. It's like that huffy puffy voice. I'm like, so forgive me if it sounds like a really bad 80s call-in line. Because we are doing our best with the audio.
This is definitely not a sound booth.
No, it is not a sound booth. So we kind of got to eat these mics too. Oh, hi there as well. So yeah, go ahead. So
I can't remember where the first one was, but the second one was at the Sky Bridge, and last night was at the Flamingo Koi Pond.
So, like, when you're solving the challenge, it says, go find, like, I remember last year we said, go find the koi pond. And then we gave, right underneath it, mentioning the koi pond, was a series of number pairs. And so the number pairs were actually a book cipher, like a dictionary. So if you found the book, which was the plaque at the koi pond, the number sequences were line numbers and then character offsets, which created a new string that would take you to a bit.ly link that would then progress the story.
Wow.
And so we always try to tie it back here. So this is not an online CTF. People at home aren't winning, right? You have to be here. This is part of the Hacker Summer Camp.
Yeah.
So if you're here and, people don't sleep here, so they need something fun to do at midnight.
Right.
So usually midnight to 2 or 3 is when we're playing games outside.
Playing games, CTF and that kind of thing. The tree in the sprint. Oh, gotcha. All right. Well, thank you for letting me, because another fun fact for the folks listening, hopefully the audio is good, because we were struggling to try, and I've got no feedback in here, so I'm actually watching to see, like, is someone like, we can't hear you? So, but it sounds like y'all can hear us, so that's great. So tell us a bit about the features on the badge, because you got a mobile app, you've got, like, and while you're kind of putting that thought together, if you're unfamiliar, if you've never been to DEF CON, badge life is a thing, right? And people will design these incredibly complex badges, and with yours being seriously at the top of the game, and people just crave, like you heard people sprint and wreck themselves to try and get one of these things. It's part of DEF CON, and you just went over the top with features. You built a mobile. Tell us about all the things this thing does.
So I'll actually answer that question in just a second, but I wanted to mention, because we're on this podcast, Sean and I, but there was actually a lot of people that helped build this thing.
Yeah, sure.
Our team has 6 people in it, 6 to 7 people doing mobile web development, mobile development, web app development, cloud server-side software, embedded software, CAD design, laser cutting. Oh yeah. And so Cooper, who's behind the camera right now, he's done every single challenge for every one of our events single-handedly. Oh, sorry, I correct. James was working with him on that as well, but he's sort of like our design lead.
Right. And I'm sharing right now the video that y'all did. You definitely want to go. I'm not going to try and pull up the audio in the room, but I've got it on the screen here. There is a video that has shots from last year of people running for the badge and also explaining all the features inside of there. So I wanted to get kind of some visual there for the folks that are watching, because when you get to the mobile app, and y'all see it in a second, it's not just like, hey, here's a mobile app with some text. It's bonkers, right? So let's talk about some of those features. And yeah, no, I love, and this is, again, going back to it, we don't invite folks to collaborate with Black Hills like this when you don't hear things like that. Immediately, Jose's like, it's not just me, it's a team effort, right? And when you build that culture that it's a team effort, there's no single heroes, everyone is putting things in. What are you just liking like over and over again? Is that what you're doing? Oh, you're trying to make his badge do stuff. Okay. I thought someone was in the background like DDoSing the likes on the thing. So that's what it's all about. building a culture in a company where you do cool stuff, you trust each other to do things. Tell us about this stuff.
Okay, so to talk about what the badge does. So it's running an ESP32, has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. That's really nothing particularly special, but what we tried to do with it is the Bluetooth Low Energy is constantly sending out an advertisement for a service. The service doesn't exist. It's actually just a facade. The advertisement has unique UUID information for the badge embedded in the manufacturing data of the advertisement packet. So the other badges are all looking for that same advertisement, and they're transmitting data to each other sort of unicast style using BLE advertisements. So that reduced the complexity and overhead of actually trying to connect to a service to get data, because there is no connections. Everything is just advertising information, and by proximity, the badges are seeing it. So from a social games perspective, the badges see each other. They capture the number, they capture all the UUIDs of the badges that they've seen, and every 5 minutes, the badges will connect to Wi-Fi here, the Defcon Open network, and it will send a heartbeat message reporting back what it's seen, in terms of the other badges. The reason it's doing that is because every time the heartbeat message is back with a response, the server is telling it whether or not it has been enrolled in an Infinity Stone event.
Infinity Stone event.
Correct.
All right.
So the game mobile app is in the badge is to try to collect all 6 Infinity Stones, and you get them by your badge becoming enrolled in an event. But you don't just get it; you have to beat the event. And so to beat the event, your badge is generating energy once per minute while in the event. And so if your badge gets within proximity of another badge, the nearby badges will join you in the fight to win that stone.
Oh my God! So you've got oh,
there we go.
The
more the blue.
Oh, there you go. So what when they're doing that color, because I have cameras going for folks here, when they do that color, they're joining each other to fight for an Infinity Stone in this little mini kind of CTF you've got baked into this.
Yeah. So they're the stones themselves. There's 6 of them. They have increasing amounts of energy required to unlock them. As you collect stones, your badge becomes more powerful. Generates more energy per minute. So if you get the easiest one, you get more energy for the next one and for the next one. And
it's like you're building XP, you know?
Exactly.
Like first you're just beating swamp rats, and then you get to the boss fight. Yeah, okay.
So we currently just got enrolled in a blue event for the Blue Stone. I don't know the lore. I forget what the Blue Stone actually, what the name of it was.
Who's the lore on the team? Who put the story together? I put you right on the spot.
Addison, no, Liam too. Liam with the theme.
Okay.
There's been a lot of we get together like this, and you go, what about this? And what about that?
Yeah,
what do you think? And somebody will throw out an idea, that idea will get morphed. Somebody will throw another idea, they get merged, and so there's not one person driving the story. I think.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's a good bit of brainstorming and collaboration.
The writer's room. It's a collaboration, right? Okay,
and honestly, the game mechanics went through I don't know, a dozen or 2 changes before we ended up where we're at.
Oh, sure.
And we're still tuning some of the parameters as we go because we're nerds. All the heartbeat data has a ton of statistic and metadata in it as well. Of course. So we know how many events have failed. Right. We know how many have spawned. If the badges aren't spawning enough, we tune up your probability of spawning an event. If you're losing too many, we turn up the power generation because we want people to win and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, just walk it right up to. You see how you've got on the side there, you got a monitor. So just hold it right up to the lens, and you can see on the monitor there.
So I just wanted to kind of show the mobile app because we spawned a blue event, which is what you see on the screen with all our badges. So you can kind of see that our badges kind of periodically generate power, and then you as a user can also I don't know if it's hard to see.
There you go.
Can also individually generate power to progress the event.
Nice.
And then
look at all these badges. They've all, I don't know if you can see the color, but they've all turned blue.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And then the more stones you unlock, the more dice you unlock.
I mean,
so this is kind of like D&D themed. You basically we have one D20 that's a scale, and then each of the stones is a D6.
This is so cool, dude. I'm just sitting here grinning like the giant nerd I am, because had you done nothing more than the mobile app, it would have been impressive just looking at that. But there's a physical, tangible object. There's playing with people, And this is why, again, I'd reached out to you and said, it's a more a favor to me even, because I wanted to talk to you about it, but I wanted people to hear the amount of work and things that went into not only making Badge Life happen, but that. So the other thing I wanted to say, and this will kind of lead into the last bit I definitely want to talk about here, is we have a philosophy at Black Hills as well that, and we do it, this is absolutely true, every content and community meeting that we have, when we talk about what we're going to do in booths, what we're going to do to, quote, air quote, we don't use the word marketing, but the easiest way to describe it, how we're going to promote Black Hills, right? Yeah. And we actually have what we call a rules of engagement. And the first rule is what we're doing good for the community? Second rule, if it's good for the community, if it's better for the community than it is for us, we should do it. And if we get something out of it, that's good too, right? So the fact that you've baked in the interactivity to get people like working together, having fun, and then using it to promote your company instead of saying, here's some flyers, check us out. Like, I have to tell a story real quick. So last year, I was at Black Hat. You had a booth at Black Hat. You have a booth at Black Hat, right? Yeah. So I was at Black Hat. Jose was like, here, now I got you a badge. I left Black Hat. I'm saying this for those of you who are maybe thinking about starting a cybersecurity company or being a consultant, and you're going, oh, we need flyers, we need Google advertisement, we need all these kind of, quote, traditional things. I put the badge on. As I was leaving the Black Hat, this is absolutely true, leaving the Black Hat floor, I got about every 10 feet I got stopped. Where did you get that badge? Where did you get that badge? Where did you get the badge? Within an hour, I had to take it off because I couldn't get anywhere. I told you this. I remember I told you this. I couldn't get anywhere. But here's the amazing thing. Every 10 minutes I was getting stopped. Within an hour, it went from where'd you get that badge to where'd you get the Tron badge. People were starting to recognize that's the Tron badge. Within 2 hours, where did you get the Ironwood Cyber badge? That is absolutely true. And that's about, and I was happy to do. I was like, these are friends. They do good work. You should go check them out. And that's what I want to talk about next. Tell us about Ironwood Cyber and what you do.
So, let's see. I gotta see. I don't.
You're like, how does our badges? I guess we said this is why we talk, because we're like, I don't know, we do pen testing and stuff, man, but we got cool stuff. So
just to get a little bit of background about who we are. So a lot of us here, I think we're currently 18 in the company. And I think maybe 14 of us came from Lockheed. When we left, we sort of took with us like our close friends, people that we trust, people that we would lean on. A lot of more senior people that have been doing cybersecurity for years. And we, especially in like pen testing, cybersecurity, architecture, remediation, things like that. We started this company and we're like, how do we make friends, right? Like, what are we going to do? We're going to we'll do services because everyone needs to do services to kind of get their name out. But like, how are we going to make a difference? And I think John Strand did that with one of his companies as well. Like, you can have impact when you start creating products that can actually do stuff.
Right.
Not necessarily to plug your other company, but active countermeasures.
Well, it's nice to be able to do that because it's John's philosophy is that, and I've heard him say it many times. So John Strand, our owner and founder. His philosophy is, I'm not eating your pie, you're not eating my pie. It is a very large, almost ever-expanding pie. Because, 10 years ago, you didn't have well, not 10 years ago, but everything has got a computer in it now. Yeah. And even more and more, like coffee makers. Why do I need my coffee maker on Wi-Fi? But it is, so it's one more thing we have to defend, right? Yeah. So it's just an ever-expanding pie. Find like-minded people. I actually heard him say to a client, he goes, I'm very lucky that my friends are my competitors and my competitors are my friends. I've heard him say that to potential clients. And he'll talk very well, be like, hey, if you go with TrustedSec or Red Siege or whomever, you're going to have a good time. We think we're better, but we're not going to say that's the wrong choice either. We think you should go with us, but you're not going to go wrong going with these folks.
And honestly, everyone should be thinking that they're better, because if not,
right, why are you even doing it?
Well, you would go to the other company that is better, right?
So, but we would never be like, you don't want to use those folks, because we just wouldn't talk about them if that was the case, right? Yeah. We'd just be like, all right, do whatever. So anyway, Ironwood Cyber, what do you do?
Just kind of say, so we have a couple products that we've been working on for 2 years now. The primary one that we use internally to do some of our contract pen tests and things like that is, and you can think of it sort of like, are you familiar with like the GitHub Copilot?
Yeah, GitHub. So for those who are on the stream, GitHub Copilot, which was a spectacular mess at first. I thought to myself, I'm like, I know of several people who could have done this better. So yeah, GitHub Copilot looks at all the stuff in GitHub and says, oh, this looks like similar code. Maybe this is how you should write it.
So it's a machine language model based. And they call it Copilot because as you're coding, it's generating work. It's doing work for you on your behalf, and it's doing it instantaneously, very fastly. So we're essentially building like a pen testing Copilot that is performing the pen test alongside the pen test operator, and it's able to perform 25, 30 parallel tasks at once. It's all data-driven actions. So when something triggers that would have been like, hey, I'm going to go do something, the bot has already done that, and the next step, and the next step, and the next step. So as the operator, a lot of the times you're just watching it do its work. A lot of times you're analyzing the data that's coming off, and you're seeing where it fell short. Like that, I would have done this. Right. We do it manually, but then on that, as soon as that engagement's over, we go back and we build that tool and we run it again to see if it would have kept going.
Nice.
So every engagement, the system gets more intelligent, more capable, with the intent that our operators are now, or our assessors are spending their time looking at data, doing critical thinking, and not doing the minutia of a pen test, which is often very labor intensive. And so we're building this. It's called Enlight is the name we gave it because I feel like when we use it, it's enlightening our customers as to the state of their security posture. Now we don't provide that as open product. That's not public.
That's what pays for the badges.
So that's what we use. But that being said, that same framework is available to customers to use as a SaaS product. The only difference is that the SaaS product version has exploitation turned off. So anything that would have fired an exploit is going to stop short and just provide it as a finding with data running. This looks like this would have worked. So you should look at this. Primarily because firing exploits autonomously, sort of continually, is probably a really bad idea for everyone involved, right? I don't want our customers' infrastructures to be falling over if something goes sideways. And certainly we don't want to be responsible for being the software that took down your infrastructure. So So continual software assessment. Our software can run as often as you'd like it to. If you think you've remediated, you push a button, it'll run again, and it'll tell you whether you did it or not. So that kind of provides continual feedback to people that are trying to fix the problems.
So for some of you who follow Black Hills a lot, we have our anti-SOC service, which is continual red teaming, right? And you might go, oh my God, why are you bringing someone in that would be eating your lunch? And it's because we don't believe that, right? Every organization is going to have different challenges, and some are going to want a much more manual approach like ours, where we've got pen testers in your environment all the time. That's what anti-SOC is, and we just continuously red team with an actual human operator. But if you've got an organization that's like, we don't want the human operator in there, we want something that is like what you're talking about with the Enlight tool, there's a way for them to go as well. There's room for both, and you just need to figure out, what's right for you.
To add to that, and we've been doing pen tests for a long time, right? When you get into these environments, getting domain admin is sort of the mundane part. Like, oh, I owned your system. Our software in the best one that we've seen so far, we started it got domain admin in 3.5 hours with no human intervention.
Oh wow!
And it cracked about 450 passwords. So
what version of season year exclamation point did it find?
A lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, we started doing password metadata statistics just to have fun. We actually provided those statistics as well for the customer because we did it for our own entertainment. But
that's funny.
Going back to my point. Getting there is only. That's like the technical part. Once you've gotten there, it's like the real work. And the real work is almost impossible to automate with computers because you really have to begin using your brain to understand, how does this customer's business workflow look like? What is this data used for? What does it mean? So once we get in, we get all that, then we start focusing on, like, if I was how would I destroy you?
Right.
And then we simulate that, and then we provide it in a report. Like, we just took all of this PII that you had encrypted over here. We found this other vulnerability in another database, and we were able to get all this data and do all these things. We exfilled whatever. Like, the company that you hired to monitor your networks, they're not finding any of this. Like, those sorts of things are added value. Like, that's not a thing that you would normally go after if you're like an up-and-coming pen testing company. You're just trying to get DA and show this is the vulnerabilities that led there. So, you know, from a continuous red team, you've got that intelligent mind constantly looking at those factors and being able to provide that view, which is really, I think that's really the larger and more important value. Because if I say, hey, you got this vulnerability and I got DA, like, that doesn't mean anything to any executive.
Yeah, we got at least on LinkedIn saying software versus technical features. And yeah, absolutely. Like, you can build as many technical features as you want. And I like your approach of, okay, we're going to see what's going to happen, then we'll build into the tool. And it's a nice iterative approach. So, yeah, and I shared on the screen here your website with, it looks like you got Enlight, Firethorn, those pieces. So definitely go check out Ironwood Cyber if you are looking for something that is more automated, if you're looking for something that's going to go there. And hey, you know, come check us out too at Black Hills with Antisoc if you want something that you say, hey, we want, you know, human on keyboard all the time and then doing the tools, because again, there's room for both, right? So yeah, no, this is fantastic. And I think what we'll do is we'll wrap it up real quick. I'm going to talk about a couple things, but for those who are watching in the stream, and there are several, we just, again, kind of rogue streams that we're going live. If you have any questions about badge life or the badges themselves, or about the tools, about Enlight and Ironwood Cyber, while I'm kind of wrapping up here, please go ahead and put them in the chat on YouTube or LinkedIn, and we'll try and get them here live while we do it. But while you're doing that, one, again, Jose, Sean, thank you for coming by, talking about the badge. I have watched people walking around going nuts about it. You didn't even mention one of the things that it's hard to get on camera, but it's, I think, almost one of the coolest features. The center of the Arc Reactor, and again, even if I got close to you, you'll see it, but up close, they've actually put like a double-sided infinity mirror. So when you look into it, it's a ring of lights that just goes on forever. And it's just what you've done with this is amazing. So if there are any questions, it doesn't look like we've got any, but where can they find you guys if they do want to ask questions about the product, about the badge?
Well, I mean, yesterday we took a break from working all week, which was a nice relaxing point.
What?
And we did some CTFs over in the contest room.
Okay.
We might do some more of that today. Maybe might watch some talks in the room.
Okay. Okay, but then after that, where would they find you?
You mean like after the con's over?
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah, after the con's over, they want to talk to you about Ironwood Cyber. They want to talk to you about badge. They want to talk to Enlight.
You can find our company's, LinkedIn on. Well, you can find it on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
We're at Ironwood Cyber on Twitter, or X, as people are.
You can go send excrements on X or whatever they're calling it now. But so yeah, Ironwood Cyber on Twitter, X. I'm
good to talk with anything or with anybody about any of the stuff that we're doing, even if it's like badge life. I'm on Discord like 100% of my life. So if anyone wants to talk on Discord, I'm Joe Hacks-a-Lot.
Right.
There's no numbers now on Discord, which is great. So I can just.
Oh yeah, Joe Hacks-a-Lot. Yeah.
This is not that guy.
Yeah, I'm not that guy. We also have a Discord for the badge. So if you guys wanted to join and chat there, that's it there as well.
Okay, what's the Discord?
I can start send you.
Okay, we'll put it in the notes there. So awesome. We're gonna do a couple more rogue kind of streams here. I know some folks commented about the background noise. If you're at DEF CON or you've been to DEF CON, there is no quiet space within like the blast radius of this conference. So if you can hear us, I'm counting that as a huge win.
Yeah, this room, you could just...
It is so loud.
Think of it as a giant bar.
Yeah.
Like a beer hall.
Yeah, that's a really good way.
Yeah, it's just loud.
Imagine you're... Yeah, Adam...
We were at the Hop Brow yesterday, and that's what this looks like.
Yeah, Adam B is saying DEF CON is always loud. Yeah, and this year is absolutely... no exception. So in a little bit here, in about an hour, we're going to do, later today, we're going to do 2 more live streams. So definitely, if it pops up, check it out. We are going to have Joe Gray from the Ascension and now an Antisyphon trainer talking about their book. And I've got one behind me, actually. Almost like I prepared this, and I really didn't. Their book, Practical Social Engineering. And if you're hearing this while you're at DEF CON, come by the booth, because these will be for sale, list price. We're not charging anything extra for it, but the extra thing you get is the signature, and you get to meet him. So he's going to be signing books, and then we'll also have Dr. Kathy Ullman in the booth. signing her books, her new book, The Active Defender. So thank you for those who just jumped in there. Derek, we will get that disc. What is the Discord that you mentioned?
It's our badge Discord.
It's
the one that we've been using.
But if I were to do like discord.gg/ what would it be? Okay.
You want to drop it in your Discord?
Yeah, go ahead and Jose, text it to me, and I'll put it in the YouTube comments. So, Derek, the Discord link, as soon as we're done here, I'll grab it, and I'll put it in the YouTube comments under the live stream. That'll be up for folks that are there. So, yeah, we're going to do our best to do a couple more of these. Hopefully, I'll get the screen behind me running, and we'll see you in about an hour. Jose, Sean, thank you for stopping by, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both
Thank
of
you
you.
very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. We'll see you in. Oh, I should look over here. I'm looking at my thing because my camera's in front of me. We'll see you in a few minutes.